Today's video, going to be replacing the water pump on this straight 6 Falcon. I initially replaced a thermostat in another video. That was working good for a little while, but then it started overheating again. It just took longer to overheat this time compared to before, where it would just start overheating initially on initial warm-up. While we're replacing the water pump, I'm going to go ahead and take off the radiator since we're already going to be in the cooling system. And I'm going to try to flush this out, so if there's any debris in here, it can get cleaned out. So this way we're only doing this once and not putting everything back together and then messing with the radiator. Bottom passenger side of the radiator, there's this petcock right here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take off this upper radiator hose, 3/8. Four 1/2-inch bolts that hold the fan on. Right now we're just going to break them loose. It's probably a 9/16, but a 14mm fits a little better on that bolt. We're going to go ahead and loosen that tie down bolt. We're just loosening it just enough to where this lock washer is not putting tension on it. Now we'll go down to the bottom. The bottom bolt on the alternator or generator is 5/8. Once I start moving it down the back, go ahead and hold on to it. I'm going to mess with the upper part of the lower radiator hose, 3/8. Five 6/8 for this heater core hose. To get to the mount bolts for the water pump, this fan assembly is going to have to come off. But luckily we already loosened them. So now we're just going to have to sit here and ratchet them off. Looking at the new water pump, we have 3 bolts. 2 would be up top, 1 in the bottom left corner. This one's recessed, so it's going to be a smaller bolt. And these 2 have the deep shaft, so they're going to be longer bolts. What I'm going to do now is break the tension on this heater tube while it's mounted. This way I'm not fighting it on the ground. 3/4, 1/2 inch. Got the gasket area all cleaned up. Now we're going to go ahead and put our new water pump in. Got our new gasket on our new pump. Now we'll go ahead and bolt it in. Since we got more room with the radiator, we'll go ahead and put the fan and the pulley on like this. Now with our fan on, we can go ahead and pull our belt.
En México sale como por...
Got the bottom tightened down. Gonna go ahead and stick our radiator back in. Now that everything's put back together, we're gonna go ahead and throw some coolant in there. Once you turn it on, go ahead and jack up the front. So any air bubbles that come out of the motor, they get trapped up top, and then only fluid is getting sucked down into the motor. And while you're doing that, you're always watching the temperature, making sure that it's all good to go. It probably won't reach full temp until you close off the system, so it actually builds pressure. With the radiator cap back on, pressurized, I'm getting heat out of both of these. It's been running for like 30 minutes. I already drove it up and down the street. And now with the cap back on, it can be fully pressurized, and it's been holding steady right in the middle for the last 20 minutes. So we are good to go. Hopefully this video helps y'all. Y'all have a good one.